Obermeyer, and we are going to learn how to create a selection and mask it today. This is officially for our surrealism project. However, it is something that anytime you're doing a composited image where you put more than one picture together or something from one picture into another picture, it is a really handy technique. So there are many ways to select something. However, in Photopea. However, I have found the best way and the most, the way that's going to work the easiest and quickest to show you is the Polygonal Lasso Tool. Okay, there are other tools for selection, but in Photopea, they don't always work so great, like the quick selection tool and the object selection tool. In Photopea, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Okay, so we are going to be selecting this little candy dish, which I'm going to put into one of my surreal inspired images. And I picked this, I took a picture of it because it looks a little bit like a flying saucer, and I thought it would be fun to kind of play with this ordinary object and make it into a flying saucer. Okay, so we are going to select it now. First off, you're going to go over here to the lasso tools, and the lasso tool is on top. You have to click and hold and move down to the polygonal lasso tool. Okay, up here we have our options. So the first option is replace. That is the same as in Photoshop where it's like new selection. Okay, so replace is when you're making a new selection. It will get rid of any selection you already have. Unite is add to the selection. Okay, subtract is to take something away from the selection, and unite is to intersect is when you take two selections and it will only select where those two things intersect. Okay, so I am on the Polygonal Lasso tool and I want to make sure I'm on replace. So here we go. I am going to zoom in. It's always good to see nice and close what you're doing. I want to see the whole thing on my screen as well. Take my cursor and I'm going to find the edge, and the Polygonal Lasso tool, you click and then you pull it out and it makes straight lines. So of course we don't want to make straight lines around the whole thing because this has a lot of curves, but if you make enough points you will be able to curve around things. Okay, so I'm gonna click, okay, and follow the edge. Every time I click, the straight line stops and starts again. And that way I can curve around, all of the curves. I can go around all the curves and not just generalize with a straight line. Now, sometimes you do have a straight line, okay, like there. So you can, when there is a straight line, it makes it nice and easy. Okay, and I'm going to continue following this. Okay, here I've got you can see I can pull the line out, and if it lines up with it, I can just click. If I pull it all the way across, I can see now I'm cutting off some of it, so it does curve just slightly. So I'm going to keep following the edge, clicking a little less because that's a little less curved. Okay, this is definitely a straight line here on the leg. This has a little curve. This is tough. You got to do a lot of clicking on the circle, on the little ball on the foot. But once you get back up here, you can do a straight line. And it doesn't have to be perfect because we're making a mask. So you can always fix it later. It's easiest though, of course, if your selection is really good to begin with. That makes things much easier later, because sometimes painting, even if it's a little portion, can be a little difficult to make it look realistic. Okay. Okay. Keep clicking. And again, there are places I'm not doing a perfect job, but it's pretty good. Okay, back up. Coming up to the left side, go around. Here we have a nice curve, so we got to do a lot of clicking. And I do see some issues that I want to fix. All right, our home stretch all the way up. I'm clicking a lot. And when you come to where you started and click, it will enclose the selection. If it doesn't, if you see the dotted line and then you click again on accident and you're stuck in it, simply click and then push Control Z, or you can step back once in history and you'll just have the selection before you started that extra click. All right, now, again, it's best, it doesn't have to be perfect, but if you want to go back in and perfect it, there are a couple places where I kind of went off a little bit. So you can add to the selection or subtract from the selection. All right, I'm going to add to the selection, and again, I'm going to zoom in really close this time. Use the hand tool to bring it down. Okay, so I can see this really well. Okay. And now I'm going to go back to my Polygonal Lasso tool, and again I'm on Add To. So down here I'm going to start where the line kind of goes off and follow the edge that I want it to go on. And then when you come to where the line is okay, you click around this, circling the line that is okay, and come back around, and it pops it out. There we go. Doing it around this one. Okay, whoops, there's one where I accidentally did one extra click, so I click out here, double click, and it goes away. Okay, and here is an area where I could subtract from as well. So I'm going to start there, and I'm being super picky here. But I would see kind of a white line from the wall, because the wall is kind of part of the selection there. There we go. So it popped it in. I'm going to pop this part in a little bit too. Sometimes you have to go over it a couple times before you get it exactly right. Okay, for now, well, let's see, right here. Okay, that's my last one that I'm going to tackle because I don't want you to have to watch this. There we go. Okay, so there are other places I could go back and fix a little bit, but it's pretty good. So now that my selection is complete, I am going to go down to the bottom of the layers palette over here, and I'm going to click on the mask layer, add a raster mask, which is the 1 to 3rd over from the trash can. So 3rd to, it's right smack dab in the middle. There are 3 on this side, 3 on this side. It's a white rectangle with the black or dark gray circle. Click on that, and what it does is it hides everything that was not selected, gets hidden. Okay, now if I still see some areas that I want to kind of fix up a little bit, I can go in with my brush tool, and since it's a very crisp edge, I'm going to go in with a hard edge brush, and I want the black brush. Okay, so now I can kind of just paint. If there's a little bit of the background showing here and there, I can go back in and touch that up. Okay. All right, and if you need to do the opposite and bring something back, you switch to white. And then you can bring that back a little bit. Okay, so when you are done, You can save it as a PSD, file, save as PSD. Now I have the masking done, and anytime I want to use this object, I can just open this picture and drag it into another picture. So here's how you drag it into another picture. Okay, if we look up here on my tab, I have my surrealist painting that I did. So I'm going to click back over here on the picture, go with my move tool, and I'm just going to go to the center of the picture, click and hold, and keep holding it down, go up to the new project, keep holding the mouse down until I get to the picture, get it to where I want it to be, and then I can let go. And you can see the mask and the thing has transferred over. All right, if I want it to be behind the bubble, for example, I can put it below. If I want it to be in front of it, I can put it above. So that's it. And then of course you save this as a PSD as well. All right, hope that helped you. Thank you. Bye.